My wife and I were watching the film. We absolutely loved it. And during the movie, she was like, those are Dakota's real tattoos. And I thought that was a really interesting choice. And I was wondering the decision you made there to keep your own personal tattoos on the character, and also that idea of the difference when you do remove the tattoos for other characters and how maybe one or the other is closer to who you are as a person.
Wow, very, very astute observation. Because my tattoos are pretty little, most of them. Um, I wanted to keep them, I think, because I thought that Maggie would have had tattoos like that, and
Mm.
um, it was a lot easier to keep my own instead of covering them and putting on fake ones and new ones and things. Um, but it's cool to, cover them in other movies because you just become a different person, and it's
Mm.
nice to be able to be a blank canvas in that way.
Could you argue that this character is kind of closer to who you are, though, in the sense of like, I don't know, I've interviewed you a few times. I don't know you personally. I just know you through interviews. But I feel like when I was watching this character, I'm like, I could see some of you in the character. Do you feel this close? This is the closest character you played to yourself?
Um, I don't know. I don't know. Not really. I think Maggie. I don't know. I don't think so.
Hmm.
I don't think it's very much like me. I mean, in terms of like discipline and ambition and focus and really wanting to do something great and not really believing in herself. I guess
Hmm.
those are things that I have and I care about. But can I ask you about them? Are those all DVDs behind you?
They are all Blu-rays behind me. It's so funny because my wife came down here before we did the segment, and I have a lot of your films actually behind me. I think I have 21 Jump Street over here, which I
Wow,
love.
me and
This is one of the say what?
me and Ice Cube.
This is one of the funniest movies ever. Of course, my wife has all the 50 Shades collections behind me as well. Do you have a big Blu-ray collection? Do you have a movie? I know you're a big vinyl person. My wife and I just started our vinyl collection. We're like listening to a lot of records now. Are you listening to a lot of records at home?
Yeah, loads of records, and I have a ton of DVDs as well, which is kind of pointless these days, but it's nice to have them.
We have them because we like to come downstairs and go to a Blockbuster. We like to like go downstairs and rent a movie. I don't know. For some reason, I like holding. Same reason why I love vinyl, because I like holding the vinyl in my hand and going through the booklet.
Yeah,
Now, it's
me
probably
too.
the same. And you're an actress who's worked a lot on film. I know you're really into like film and vinyl and things like that. Last question I do want to ask you before you go. There's a powerful moment in the studio in the film where you go to Kelvin's character and you essentially say to him, "You're self-sabotaging. You need to stop being so insecure." And I started watching that going, I self-sabotage all the time. It's like something I just do because I've been dealing with anxiety and certain elements of depression my whole life. And self-sabotaging is a very big part of that. Do you remember a moment in your acting career when you were on a set and I know you felt yourself self-sabotaging and you said to yourself, you know what? Someone came up to you and helped you get out of that funk. Is there a specific moment you remember?
Um, that happens all the time. There's not a specific moment, but um, yeah, I think that sometimes you that's the beauty of making movies is that there's so many people hopefully who like are watching out for you and have your back. If it's your director, they can say you're missing this point, come at it from this angle and you know things like that. But I can't think of a specific moment, but that happens all the time, especially when I think you like if I really want to make a movie or I really want a part and I really want to work with somebody, are usually I'll make myself like incredibly late for that meeting for some reason. Embarrassing and so stupid, but it happens.
What's interesting about this film is that idea of doing things for money or doing things for the creative and the artist process. And your character
Yeah.
obviously is looking out for the money aspect, even though he's friends with Tracy Ellis Ross's character for a long time. He's looking for that money and that comfort element versus the going out and doing more music and more tours. For you, can you pinpoint elements in your career where those crossroads were decisions that you had to make, where you're thinking this might be a little bit easier for money, this might be easier for the song process or the creative process, or those crossroads as an artist that you found yourself at sometimes?
Not a lot, because I'm pretty diverse with the things that I'm doing. So I can always escape through the back door. Like if things feel like they're getting too stale in music, I can do a film. If I get antsy and want to kind of say something that I can't say in film, I could go do a record. So I'm able to bob and weave and not get caught into those things. But at a certain point, it's really, with a guy like Jack, it's all about when do you cash in. Like, you've been building this career for over 20 years. Obviously the new material is not working like the old material. So it's probably time to cash in. Doesn't really make him a bad guy. In the movie, he seems a little, greedy about that. But for the most part, it's like, let's work smarter and not harder, which a lot of managers do want to cash in and get that low-hanging fruit.
Right. Now, I'm watching this film, obviously. I'm seeing the inner workings of the entertainment industry and the music industry. And I couldn't help but not look at your Twitter the other day when you told this amazing story about N.W.A being refused to entrance into a listening party. And you posted this photo with The Last Dance, and it says you went to eat instead of actually going into the party because you weren't allowed in. Do you remember where you went to eat, and what's the full story there? It's a crazy story.
I'm still trying to figure out where we went to eat. Maybe it was IHOP. I'm drawing a blank on that. But yeah, we went to our listening party. It was a little late, of course. But we pull up and we walk, it's about, at that time, it was probably about 17 or 18 of us. And we walk up to the door and the bouncers is like, nah, whoa. We like, man, watch out. We real cocky with it. Watch out, man. It's our listening party. Like, no, y'all not coming in here. What you talking about? You're not dressed right. And y'all not coming in here, man, with the, he thought we was like bangers about to turn it out. And so he was saying, look, man, we eat, it's easy eat. We N.W.A, we the group. Hey, he was not, we not letting y'all in. I don't care who you are. Because back then, people didn't know, they didn't know our faces like that. So it was just a big hassle. Brian Turner from Priority Records come out. He's trying to get us in, talk. The sheriffs come up and tell us, we got to move. We got to go. Y'all got to go. Y'all can't come in. The man say no. So we was like, man, we don't want to get arrested. So we just jump in our cars and we go eat. And we just complaining the whole time while we eat. Like, only us, man. And they got to do it to us, man. So it was one of them nights.
There's a great moment in the film where Dakota's character essentially says that you're self-sabotaging. That your character is not allowing himself to be secure in his singing. It's a very powerful moment. And I feel like it's a cliche question to ask, like, is there a moment in your life where you felt like you were self-sabotaging and then you were able to overcome that? But is there a moment in your acting career that you remember specifically where you were self-sabotaging and someone came up to you and kind of helped you through that and made you get that perspective?
I remember my first, it happened on this movie, but the first time it happened was it happens every time you do something different that you're kind of afraid of, that you don't know what's going on anymore. But that's what makes it exciting. But I did this movie called It Comes at Night, and I was doing this scene. It was my first lead role in a movie, and I was doing this scene when my dog died. And I was like constantly just going at it, and I was like, I need another one. I have to be perfect. And when the actress Carmen Ejogo came up to me, she was like, do you trust the director? And I was like, uh-huh. She's like, well, then trust the director. Wow. Everyone says you got it. You're kind of ruined now because you keep trying to perfect it. But it's the rawness of it all that it's already been achieved. Whatever your idea isn't the best thing, maybe. You know what I mean? You don't know what's on the other side of that. And Dakota did the same thing for me with this movie. I was scared, and she was like, relax, dude.
Well, like when you're in that moment though, when you're about to sing, you as yourself is different from you as the character. So the character has to build up the courage to sing. You as yourself have to build up the courage to sing. Where is that balance in finding like, okay, the character has to act nervous. Maybe I'm nervous too, or maybe I'm confident, but the character isn't. How do you balance that aspect?
You know, I think it's just reminding myself that a few days ago, I wasn't that far off from the shooting day. You know, I was in the studio shaking, drinking tea excessively, you know, every second I had to put a cough drop. They're like, can you spit that out? Yes. I just need to soothe the throat, you know? And I was like, it's not that different from David in that studio with Maggie for the first time. So it was like, it's not, once again, remembered, I wasn't that far off from it.
I'm super interested. This is a filmmaking question, but going back to something like Waves, which was so brilliantly directed. My wife and I were just discussing this a little while ago. The different aspect ratios that were used in that film. I was just curious, like from an actor's standpoint, were you told about how those different aspect ratios were going to work? Because they were a way to tell us where we were in the timing and the story arc. Did you know about the different aspect ratio shifts as an actor prior to shooting?
Yeah, I mean, Trey also put all of those things in the script. So
Cool.
you would flip through it and he would be like, it's, you know, it's this is the aspect ratio going on here, boom, boom, boom. And when I worked with him on night, when it comes at night, so I kind of also knew what it would look like. I knew he liked to hold the camera. I knew he liked to stand from a distance. And I knew why these things would do what they did. So when I was shooting it, I was like, shit, is this the moment where this is going to happen? So how does that, you know, determine what you want from me? So it would be part of the conversation in the moment. Yeah.